Welcome back to our channel. We hope you'll find valuable content here. If you enjoy our channel, please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Let's dive in. Have you ever wondered how the world's most successful people achieve their incredible feats? Is it all about natural talent, or is there something more? Deliberate practice is a term that often surfaces in discussions about mastering a skill or achieving greatness in a field. But what exactly does it entail, and how does it differ from the typical practice we're all familiar with? Imagine you're learning to play the piano. Regular practice might involve sitting at the piano for an hour daily, playing through your favorite pieces. While this is good, it's not quite deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is much more structured and purposeful. It involves specific goals, like improving your hand coordination or mastering a particularly challenging part of a piece. In this focused practice, you would work intensely on just those aspects, often pushing the boundaries of your current abilities. This kind of practice is typically not inherently enjoyable because it demands a high level of concentration and effort. It's the difference between playing a song over and over in a comfortable way and focusing intently on the small parts that are challenging, analyzing your mistakes, and constantly striving to correct them. Deliberate practice also involves feedback either from a teacher, a mentor, or self-assessment. This feedback is crucial as it helps you understand what you need to improve. It's not just about putting in the hours, it's about how those hours are used. A pianist might spend the same amount of time practicing as their peer, but if they're using that time to continually challenge themselves and address their weaknesses, they are engaging in deliberate practice. To understand the difference further, think of a swimmer doing laps in a pool. Regular practice might mean swimming for an hour. Deliberate practice would be focusing on perfecting their stroke, getting feedback from a coach, and maybe even using video analysis to break down their technique. It's this focused, structured, and often intense mode of practice that sets deliberate practice apart from regular, more casual practice. So, in essence, deliberate practice is a highly structured activity, explicitly directed at improving performance. It's not just about doing something repeatedly, it's about striving for a specific goal with focused attention, feedback, and a willingness to push yourself out of your comfort zone. This distinction is fundamental to understanding why some individuals excel in their fields while others, despite years of practice, do not reach the same level of expertise. It highlights the importance of quality over quantity in practice and underscores the role of focused, intentional effort in achieving excellence. A growth mindset, a term coined by psychologist Carol Dweck, refers to the belief that one's abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset contrasts with a fixed mindset, where individuals see their talents and intelligence as static traits that cannot change significantly. In the context of deliberate practice, a growth mindset is pivotal. It empowers individuals to view challenges not as insurmountable obstacles but as opportunities to grow and improve. When someone with a growth mindset encounters a difficulty, they don't see it as a reflection of their inherent inability. Instead, they view it as a sign that they need to apply more effort, change their strategies, or seek guidance. This mindset is crucial because it fosters resilience and a persistent quest for mastery, even in the face of setbacks. For instance, a student with a growth mindset who performs poorly on a test will likely view this as a chance to learn and grow. They might decide to study more effectively, seek help, or explore different learning methods. In contrast, a student with a fixed mindset might conclude that they're just not good at the subject and give up trying to improve. The growth mindset is particularly relevant in the realm of deliberate practice, as it aligns with the concept's emphasis on continuous improvement and the belief that excellence is achieved through effort and learning, rather than innate talent alone. There's a common belief that to be successful in any field, be it music, sports, science, or art, one must possess an innate talent, a natural gift that predestines them for greatness. This notion, however, is a significant misconception. While talent can play a role, it's not the sole determinant of success. More often than not, what really makes the difference is deliberate practice, perseverance, and a growth mindset. Think about famous athletes, musicians, or scholars. It's easy to assume they were born gifted. Yet, if you delve into their stories, a different picture emerges. Hours upon hours of dedicated practice, failures turned into learning opportunities, and a relentless drive to improve are common themes. Michael Jordan, for instance, didn't make his high school basketball team on his first try, but he didn't let that stop him. His extraordinary achievements in basketball are a result of his unparalleled work ethic and constant striving for improvement, not just his raw talent. This misconception about talent can be damaging because it might lead people to give up too easily. They might think, "I'm just not cut out for this," without realizing that effort, strategy, and resilience could bridge the gap between their current abilities and their goals. Understanding that talent is just a starting point, and not the entire journey, is empowering. It shifts the focus from what you're born with to what you can achieve through hard work and dedication. It's about maximizing your potential, regardless of your starting point. The study of expert musicians provides a fascinating insight into how deliberate practice can lead to extraordinary levels of skill and accomplishment. Researchers have found that what distinguishes top performers from their peers isn't necessarily an inborn talent, but rather the amount of time they spend engaged in deliberate, focused practice. For example, a study comparing violinists at a music academy found that by the age of 20, the best violinists had spent over 10,000 hours practicing, compared to just over 7,500 hours for less accomplished peers. This significant difference in practice time wasn't just about quantity, though. The quality of practice was crucial. The best violinists spent more time in solitary practice, meticulously working on their technique, interpreting pieces, and correcting errors. They set specific goals for each practice session, sought feedback, and constantly challenged themselves. This case study reinforces the concept that excellence in any field is less about having natural talent and more about how one practices. It's the focused, purposeful, and consistent effort that counts. These musicians didn't just play their instruments for hours on end, they engaged in a kind of practice that was mentally demanding and not inherently enjoyable, but immensely effective in improving their skills. Their journey wasn't easy or straightforward. It involved struggles, setbacks, and continuous self-improvement. But it's this journey, marked by deliberate practice, that led them to achieve a level of expertise that appears as talent to the outside world. Consider how most people learn to drive. Initially, every action requires conscious thought, from changing gears to checking mirrors. However, with time, these actions become automatic. For many, driving becomes a routine activity that doesn't require much conscious effort or thought. This automaticity is a form of learning and skill development, but it's different from the deliberate practice needed to achieve expertise. Now, let's apply this to another skill, say, playing chess. A novice chess player might begin by learning the rules and how the pieces move, much like learning the basics of driving. But to become a chess grandmaster, it's not enough to just play a lot of chess games, just as driving a lot doesn't make someone a professional race car driver. It requires deliberate practice, studying complex strategies, analyzing past games, playing against challenging opponents, and constantly pushing the boundaries of one's capabilities. This analogy is powerful because it demonstrates that mere repetition of an activity doesn't lead to mastery. Mastery requires more than just automatic, routine actions, it demands targeted, thoughtful, and intensive effort aimed at improving specific aspects of one's performance. Just as a professional race car driver practices specific techniques and maneuvers beyond everyday driving, an expert in any field must engage in practice that goes well beyond the basics of their skill. When we talk about the time invested in purposeful practice, it's not just about the duration or the years someone has been practicing a skill. It's about how that time is utilized. For instance, two individuals might have been playing the guitar for 10 years. However, one might have spent those years casually strumming and playing familiar tunes, while the other might have dedicated time to learning new techniques, experimenting with different styles, and actively seeking feedback to improve. This distinction is crucial. The person who engaged in purposeful, deliberate practice is likely to have a much deeper understanding and a higher skill level than the one who simply spent time playing without a specific focus on improvement. This focused practice is typically structured, involves setting specific goals, and is often challenging. It's about stepping out of one's comfort zone and continually pushing the boundaries of one's abilities. This concept is akin to the difference between a job and a career. In a job, one might spend years doing the same tasks without much change or growth. In a career, there's a progression, a continuous development of skills, and a pursuit of higher levels of achievement. Similarly, in any skill or field, the quality of the time spent practicing is what leads to significant improvements and expertise, not just the amount of time. In many professional settings, it's common to find individuals with years of experience who might be operating largely on autopilot. They perform their daily tasks competently but without much thought to improvement or learning new skills. This is a natural human tendency. Once we become comfortable with a task, we often stop pushing ourselves to improve. This approach, while efficient, limits growth and development. On the other side of the spectrum are individuals who, despite having similar or even less work experience, are continually striving to improve their skills. They approach their work with a mindset geared towards learning and growth. This involves seeking feedback, embracing challenges, setting higher goals, and learning from mistakes. Rather than just clocking in hours, these individuals use their time at work as an opportunity for deliberate practice and skill enhancement. This difference in approach highlights a crucial point. The key factor in developing expertise and advancing in a career is not just work experience in terms of years, but the mindset with which one approaches that experience. An individual with a growth mindset, who actively seeks to learn and improve, is more likely to advance and succeed than someone with more experience but a fixed, complacent approach. Deliberate practice is more than just repetitive action, it's a focused, purposeful effort aimed at improving performance. This approach is underpinned by a growth mindset, which views challenges as opportunities to learn and develop. By understanding the misconceptions about talent, we see that success is not just about innate abilities but also about how we nurture and develop our skills. Case studies, like those of expert musicians, show us that deliberate practice involves not just time but the quality of that time. It's about specific, targeted improvement, not just repetitive action. The analogy with driving skills illustrates this point well. Expertise requires more than just automatic, routine actions, it demands concentrated and intentional effort. The difference between mindset and work experience is also crucial. It's not just the years of experience that count, but how one approaches their work and learning. An active, growth-oriented mindset leads to continuous improvement and, ultimately, to mastery. As we conclude this journey, I encourage you to reflect on your own practices and mindset. Are you engaging in deliberate practice in your field? Are you challenging yourself to grow and improve, or are you staying in your comfort zone? Remember, the path to excellence is not easy, but it is achievable with the right approach and mindset. Think about one skill or area you want to improve. Set specific, achievable goals, seek feedback, and embrace challenges as opportunities to learn. Whether it's in your professional life, a hobby, or personal development, applying the principles of deliberate practice can lead you to levels of achievement you may have thought were out of reach.